In drawing an aerial view of the city, you just draw a horizontal or longitudinal boxes, top view, any shape at all. Now, if I'm going to do an aerial view of a city, I put a dot anywhere on the paper in this general region. Then I extend lines away from the dot. This is no instruction yet. This is just information that I have to use to draw an aerial view of a city. Then I extend this corner line toward that dot and stop before I get there. Once I get there, I'm turning the paper for convenience, and I'm extending this line upward. I don't know how far. This tells me how far. I head this down for the dot, and I head this down for the dot. And I terminate at the same angle this line's at, here. And this angle here tells me the angle I use at the base. So that might be, what you're looking at is an aerial view of a skyscraper. You might not see it yet. Then I'm going to put a street around it. And just by extending it to the fore and back this way, and extending it beyond the building, then I'm going to put lines in the building that will help me with the rendering. All of these lines comprise the windows of the building going down toward this dot. You notice I'm changing the angle to fit in with the shape of the building and also head for this point. Some of you might see the building now. And if I want to draw another building, I extend this right on down on that line. And this line tells me the angle. I don't need to imagine anything. I'm turning the paper for convenience. I'm taking the baseline of this building where it touches the ground, extending it forward to this building. Then I'm taking the street line at the base of the building, projecting it forward, and turning in this direction. And then I'm turning beyond this line. I go beyond that line and turn it. Now here's another building. So I'm going to draw the windows horizontally, or vertical from your point of view. So I draw a lot of windows, and as I get toward the bottom, they get closer and closer together. That's all there is to that building. Now, if I want to draw a building here, I still go to the same dot. You only got one dot in the illustration. So I head this for the dot, and I stop it when it gets to the baseline of the building, and extend this vertical forward. And I head this for the baseline of the building, and this. Then I'm going to put in the same kind of lines because you're used to it now. Now, I'm going to add a street, a sidewalk down here. And then I'm going to bring this building down toward the dot. I don't need to use these lines. These lines just serve as a guide. They help me control the direction of the line. And I'm going to stop at about where this line stops. Then I'm going to go forward again. And then I'm going to bring this line down toward the dot. So what you get here, all of these act as guides what direction I'm to move in. I move right on down to the same level this building's at and cut it off at the same point. I'm going to strengthen this line a little. Now I'm going to put a street around these buildings, a sidewalk. However, if you still do not get the message, I'm going to extend this building down to the same level. Then I'm going to extend this building. Notice I'm following the lines here. And I can only run that to that line. This next one goes in and stops inboard, just as this does. This is my guide for the baseline. And I'll just finish off with this one. So this is an aerial perspective. And no matter how many buildings you draw in here, They all go to the same dot. That is in this type of view. That's an aerial view, like a plane flying over a city. The next drawing is just a little more detailed. If you look close, there's an aerial view of skyscrapers. And down these little dots obviously would be automobiles traveling in the street down below. So here you see the same thing shaded with more emphasis on detail. Again, this is not instruction. This is a general system illustrators use when they work. It doesn't come out of the mind. They are lawful processes which they put together to help emphasize the visual. This is a visual aid. In studying this illustration from any view, it's still an aerial view or flying over a city. You can also emphasize the shape of the building by shading the same sides dark. That will help emphasize the shape of the building.